Winter 2025-2026. What's really in store? Beyond guesses and folklore, today we're cutting through dense climate analysis to uncover what this season might actually feel like. Spoiler, it won't be steady cold. It's shaping up to be a volatile, high-impact winter full of dramatic swings. This winter isn't pointing toward a uniform deep freeze. Instead, the forecast suggests high-amplitude swings, bitter Arctic outbreaks colliding with milder spells. Think of it as a roller coaster, not a straight downhill ride. So what's driving this volatility? Two main culprits stand out, a weak La Niña and a likely weakening of the stratospheric polar vortex. La Niña means cooler equatorial Pacific waters, strengthening a circulation called the Walker Circulation. Normally, a strong La Niña tilts the odds toward cold, stormy winters in parts of North America. But here's the catch. This year's La Niña looks weak. That means its push on the atmosphere is subtle and inconsistent. Other patterns can easily overshadow it. In fact, some weak La Niña winters have delivered less snow than average in the mid-Atlantic, so it's not a guaranteed cold setup. Now, the big player, the stratospheric polar vortex, a massive pool of ultra-cold air spinning high above the Arctic. Normally it keeps frigid air locked up north, but sometimes large atmospheric waves push into the stratosphere, disrupting the vortex in events called sudden stratospheric warmings, SSWs. When that happens, the vortex weakens, the jet stream below buckles, and Arctic air spills south, like opening the freezer door of the planet. That's when we get brutal cold snaps deep into North America and Europe. This year, it's not just La Niña. Another pattern is joining forces. The easterly phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation, QBOE. Together, weak La Niña and QBOE raise the odds of a weakened, disrupted polar vortex. Translation: a higher risk of severe cold air outbreaks. Even if seasonal averages lean warm, the cold snaps could be intense and far-reaching. This sets up a battleground winter. The Pacific North American pattern, PNA, may lean negative, bringing cold to the western U.S. and warmth in the east. But that clashes with the potential Arctic intrusions from a disrupted SPV. The result? Volatility. Expect sharp swings, not steady patterns. And then come the wildcards. The North Atlantic Oscillation, NAO, the gatekeeper that decides if Arctic cold floods the eastern US and Europe or stays bottled up. The Madden-Julian Oscillation, MJO, a tropical pulse of storms circling the globe. Certain phases can time big cold outbreaks, while others suppress them. Together, these will shape when the cold arrives and where it hits hardest. So what does this mean for real life? Energy. Heating demand could spike suddenly, leading to price shocks when Arctic air plunges south. Agriculture, a double-edged sword, drought risk in the southern US, but also damaging freezes reaching unusually far south, possibly Texas or even Florida. Logistics and travel, expect major disruptions, severe winter storms likely across the northern US, Canadian prairies, and parts of Europe. The volatility is the story, bursts of extreme cold, intense storms, then sudden thaws. For context, look back to winter 1995-96. That was a weak La Niña year with a disrupted polar vortex. The result? Widespread severe cold across the eastern US and Europe. It's not a perfect match, but it shows how similar setups can deliver wild winters. In the end, it all underscores how small shifts, Pacific waters cooling, winds high in the stratosphere, can profoundly shape our heating bills, our travel, even the food on our plates. So the big question isn't just what's coming, but are we prepared for a winter of high-amplitude swings? Time will tell.